please get over. You've got your eyes set on a sport bike for your first bike and a litre bike as your first bike. Look, I get it. That's exactly what I did. In England, you're typically going to do the journey of getting your 125 licence, which is a one-day course, and then going on and getting your full motorbike licence. When you go off to get your full motorbike licence, you are going to do that on a naked bike. Naked bikes are, comparatively to sport bikes, super comfortable. Super comfortable. These are not. After a couple of hours of riding these bad boys, you're fucked. If you were to do your lessons on one of these, where you're riding around on it all day for 5 days, you'd be broken. You'd be absolutely broken. So you live in England, right? You've just done your intensive course. You've done your 5-day course, and you have a full bike license. Typically, you're going to learn on sort of between, 700, between 6 and 8. I think the minimum is 700cc for the full license. I'll double check that. I'll put it on the screen if that's what the minimum requirement is for the full license. You've done your 125, you've done your CBT, you've done it on probably, I did mine on a KTM Duke 790, right? A 790cc naked bike, and it was great. I loved it. I love riding that bike. It was a really fun bike to ride. After I got my licence, like many of you are thinking of doing, I then went off to go and buy my sport bike, my big litre bike, this beautiful bastard over here. And those of you that know Nimbus and seen her on the channel before, this is my 2015 Suzuki GSX-R 1000 with not a lot done to it really. It's got Yoshimura exhaust on there. We've got servo delete kit on it, and that's pretty much it for performance. The first thing you're going to notice is the seating position. The seating position is so much more aggressive, and I know you've heard that word a lot, but what does that mean? Well, you're not sat up, you're leant over, you're really leant over the bike, your weight's on your hands, rather when you're on a naked bike and you're sat, your hands are out in front of you. It's actually quite comfortable. But on a sport bike, your elbows are above your wrists, so that means all your weight is going down, so you need to manage that, and the way you manage it is by gripping the tank with your legs and putting all the pressure on your core rather than on your hands. If you really are leaning all your weight onto your hands, and you're a bigger guy like I am, or anyone really, it's not going to be a comfortable ride. Your hands and wrists are going to be shot within a couple of minutes, and then it's just going to be an uncomfortable ride for the rest of the journey. So you've got to learn how to sit on one of these things, and it's not tricky. Next step, you've got your license, you've got your litre bike. Now what? Now what do we do? Well, now what we do is the fun bit, is you get the fuck on it and you get the fuck riding. Where should you go? So for me, the reason we're on this road today is because when I got my litre bike, this was the first road that I ever rode. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride along this road and talk about why this was a shit road to pick for my first ride out road. You ready? We ain't got long. Sun's on its way down. So let's get the fuck out of here and just do this road for a little bit and see why it's so shit. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the end and we're going to spin it around and then we're going to do this road, alright? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way to the end and then ride back. That's my plan. There's a nice gap and now I have a nice train of cars. I fucked myself. Let's do this. So, stunning view, great ocean shot, great ocean view. Oh, we have slow moving traffic. What is going on here? This road is actually a very famous road for motorbikes. It's called the Tall Point Twisties. This is a modified version of it, just because I've got some local knowledge, so I know some spots that other people don't. This road isn't technically on the Tall Point Twisties, but we move. is adjacent to the Tour Point Twisties, and I argue that this section of road is better because it actually extends the journey a lot. Whoop. Okay, so what do we think here are the reasons why this road is a terrible road to do as your first road? First and foremost, we've just got into a section of extremely narrow road where there are no more road markings. When there's no more road markings, it means that barely 2 cars can fit. Barely. Caught a couple of bits there on my tyre. That sent my tyre sideways. The other thing is these are farm roads. Look at the dirt. So it's super narrow. Let's look at the cars ahead. Let's get a bit closer. So look how narrow this road is. If you're a very, very beginner rider, this road is terrifying. Look, see, big buses come down and they're over the lines anyway. So if you were on the other section, that'd be even closer. So when you're trying to focus on learning the throttle control, you're trying to learn seating position, you're trying to learn leaning and turning and all of that stuff. When you're trying to do that and you're on a road where everything is a total fucking nightmare, you're not able to spend that time actually learning about the bike and getting confident on the bike. You're actually just trying to learn a road on a bike that you are not confident on. That's a recipe for disaster. Other reasons, the road surface quality is terrible. It's awful. And we're on a section now where it's actually okay. But there comes points, and when I get there I'll point them out to some of them. Yeah, there will come to some points where the road surface is so bad that it actually moves you around the road. If you're trying to learn riding and learn a bike on your liter bike as your first bike, those things that send you to the side and send you up and unsettle the bike and make it feel a little bit unbalanced, those things are fucking scary. Again, you're trying to mitigate all of these factors that are going to take away from you actually learning the bike. Okay? So again, really narrow roads, poor road surface, and a high speed. These roads are 60 mile an hour roads, and I know that we're not doing it now, but they are 60 mile an hour roads. And actually, if you follow this road, it gets even worse. Honestly, this road can get terrible. And then look at this floor here. You see these trimmings here on the floor? These like hedge trimmings? When you're riding a liter bike, things like gravel, twigs, grass clippings, you know, you've probably heard about those sorts of things before, they are a death trap. They will catch you, they will get you, and they will spin you out. So you need to avoid those. So roads like this, where there's lots of shrubbery on either side of the road, causes loads of debris, and that debris you need to avoid, okay? So please try and pick a road that doesn't go through small little villages where you've got to do slow speeds, which you might still not be confident with doing your slow speed manoeuvres. Look at this as well, right? Perfect. Look at this gravel. You take that turn and you go over that gravel, you are, again, in a world of fucked. But you can't see around these fucking corners. And if you can't see around the corners, you don't know what's coming, so you take it really far out to the side, and the further you are out to the side, the more chance you've got of debris, especially fresh debris, so it makes it so much scarier. You've got to be so careful, because again, look how blind these corners are. And for an experienced rider, or an intermediate rider, these roads are amazing. They're so good, they're twisty, they're long, they're great, right? Here's another issue, and we're about to come into it right now. That sun, to me, right now, is fucking blinding. I can't see fucking nothing. And I've got a tinted visor on. And even with a tinted visor, my vision is fucking gone. God help you if you've got a clear visor on this road. Oh, well, when the sun, not even on this road, God help you if you've got a clear visor on and you've got the sun in this sort of position where it's starting to go down.
So yeah, vision's completely gone. The road surface, and when you've got the sun, this angle especially, this is the worst one, you actually can't see the road surface, and it's something that as a biker you don't know until you're actually riding, is that the road surface is super important, because the road surface determines how the bike is, it determines how settled it is, how comfortable it is, all those sorts of things. And if you can't see that road surface, you can't plan for it, you can't avoid the drains, you can't avoid the divots, you can't avoid anything, you're just stuck. You want to pick a road where you know the road inside out. That's my biggest advice. I've always said that. Know the road inside out. And if you're new to riding completely and you're new to just being on the road and you don't have a driving license, then that will require you to go out on a bike slowly and learn. So the road surface here is alright. Now, when you're riding, you need to be focused on signs, because things like this can real catch you out big time. We're going to be sneaky boys. We're going to sneaky. Oh, we're going to sneaky our way. Sneaky our way to the front. Sneaky. No one has to know. So I know at this part of the road surface is the worst that it is on the whole journey, or this whole route, we should say. But look at these roads. These roads are so good. What a corner, huh? That's such a good corner. But the road surface makes it a bit worse. So as I feel the bike jumping around underneath me, sort of being a little bit unsettled, you gotta be calm, relax, be loose on the bike. It's so easy to panic and grip really tight, which you don't want to be doing. Ready, steady, meow! And that's, woohoo! That's what it's like to ride a liter bike. That in a nutshell, that's what it's like. Ready, steady, see you the fuck later. Big pothole. And if you do find yourselves on roads like these, generally speaking, the centre of the road is always going to be the worst, right? It's always the worst part of the surface, and where the tyres go over normally is normally a bit smoother. So get good at learning how to ride on like really narrow lines. So like there's a line you can see just on the road that I can see is really smooth in front of me. So I'm trying to stay on that line as much as I can, and I know that the road obviously clears up a little bit here, so I don't panic so much. Yeah, generally speaking, try and stay on where the tyres of cars are. It will flick away all of the shit and debris that's on the road, and they'll all collect sort of in the centre and in places where tyres aren't generally going. So by staying on a line where tyres are, you're kind of on the most optimal line, really. So, as an alternative option, you can choose a road like this. This is a large A road, this is the A38. Now, the benefit of a road like this is A, the road surface is guaranteed to be a lot better. The road width is way wider, but look at the distance between the cars to my right. You know, and I've got a lot of lane space here to be able to sort of shimmy around and sort of be where I need to be in the lane whenever I need to be in there. Not only that, these sorts of roads have the biggest benefit, which is just coming up here, they are dual carriageways. And the joy about dual carriageways is that you can go at your own speed. If you want to go slowly and you want to learn the road, you can in this lane. And as you get more confident, you're going to be able to come into a lane like this one, where you're able to go much, much faster. Thanks, Mr. Bike. You can go much faster, but you've still got loads of room in the road to be able to avoid hazards. On roads like this, if you are someone that drives a car, right, look at these two cars in front, and I know that the lens is warping the distance, how it looks. That white car is really close up the arse of that pickup truck. In a car, that's fine. On a bike, that's not. Your ability to stop and manoeuvre is not as good as a car in these situations when you're going fast. On a bike, that's a dangerous game. So, my distance, I always try to leave about 3 car lengths at sort of 70, and then as I go faster, even more. There goes the sun. But on these sorts of roads, you can focus, you can relax, you can like just play with the throttle, play with leaning off the side of the bike and seeing how it feels. Right? You can try different gears and pulling in different gears and seeing how that feels. Please get over. Idiot. Another thing that's going to be a bit tricky as well, so roads like that are perfect because you can get up to speed, you can sort of cycle all the way through the gears nicely, you can short shift, you can, you know, get it right up to the limiter and shift, like it's completely up to you. That's really nice. On roads more akin to what we're about to go back onto, you run that problem of you're just in one gear. You just stay in one gear. So setting yourself up to be in the right gear for the right turn and like these fundamental skills to ride fast, you don't learn because you just stay. On these roads you can kind of sit around and you can sit in third gear on these roads the whole way. I'm in a village now, you know, I'm doing 30, so I'm in second, but generally speaking, yeah, you can sort of get everywhere on these country roads in one gear, and it does take a little bit of the fun away from it. And when you go on those roads like we were just on, where you can go really fast, you can go up through the gears and stuff, like that's all well and good, right? That's all happy days. But when you're trying to learn, you need the most experience that you can get, and the most experience you can get is going through as many gears as possible. And in order to do that, you need a smaller bike, a much smaller bike. So I'll stay in third here, right? You just watch how I can pretty much do everything. Don't worry about learning the more complicated techniques at the beginning. Don't worry about rev matching, clutchless shifting, trail braking and all of these things. Don't worry about them. So, and I can accelerate. And I was only at what, just below 10k revs before I caught up to that car in third gear. So I was able to get a load of speed, no problems whatsoever. And then I can drop back down to a cruising speed of third. The bike's not screaming at me. You know, it's all sort of happy. There, you just want to focus on the bike, focus on feeling the bike, learn the bike. All bikes are so unique in that. I can't see, am I clear, am I clear, am I clear? Don't know these roads too well, I don't know how sharp the corners are. Feeling I'm going to be stuck behind traffic now for the rest of the way. Picking the roads to learn on that are actually adequate roads to learn on. Don't pick country lanes that have got big hedges and poor road conditions and farmers' dirt spread all over it. It's a recipe for disaster. You're too focused on the road, you're not focused on learning how to ride the bike. And it's what I did, right? It's exactly what I did. Is I went out on one of those roads. That was one of the first rides I ever did, probably the first ride, I think. and it scared the fucking shit out of me on a bike that was scaring the shit out of me. It was awful. I just wanted to get home as quickly as I could. So I did. And now I'm more confident on these roads. I'm more comfortable, and I understand the bike now, and me and the bike kind of have a little understanding, shall we say. See, the road surface is really degraded here. Hoi! Hey, Post-Jix a Brit here. How you doing? The point that I wanted to make before I finish this video is, if you're like me, and this is the journey that you took, and you want to delete a bike, it probably went as something a little like this. You thought, oh, I have an interest in motorbikes. I think that this could be a hobby that I could get into. So you do what any normal sane person does, and you get onto YouTube, and you start watching videos of people like Yami Noob, who's fantastic for beginner riders. From there, you'll start to pick what sort of bikes you like, and if you're like me, you like sport bikes, then you'll start to find content creators that ride the sort of bikes that you like in the style that you like. So for me, that led me to creators like Jixabra, S1K Rocket, Fastlane KC, Fastlane D, those sorts of boys. And that became the goal. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to ride like them. I wanted to ride fast. I wanted to ride cutting in and out of traffic at silly speeds, you know. But when you actually get your bike, your own liter bike, you will quickly learn that that's not plausible, especially at the beginning. And if you're anything like me, your opinions on those sorts of activities will change.